Welcome back to round 2 of the Just Car Insurance Australian Drifting Grand Prix at the iconic Calder Park Thunderdome, the birthplace of ADGP. Well, into the top 8 now. Here is the NULON Oils Battle Tree. Some serious matchups. This is going to go big. And the first one is Bo Yates up against Michael Rosenblatt. These guys gave us the battle of the year here at the Thunderdome last season. Will they do it again? Bo Yates will lead as the number 1 qualifier, pedal to the metal, full throttle entry, throws it in. He has bigger angle than Rosenblatt. Rosenblatt goes a little bit wide there, nearly goes off. He then is shallow to try and keep up with Bo Yates coming out of the horseshoe. He's pushing very aggressive, but a little bit messy to keep up with the Achilles radial hairpin. But Bo Yates throws down a textbook, perfect aggressive lead run that would be very difficult for anyone to match. Rosenblatt, he throws it in, a little bit slower by the looks of it on that entry, goes wide there, gets the tyre off a couple of times, but Bo Yates is right there on his door coming out of the NULON Oils horseshoe. Chases him in now to that last hairpin. And Bo Yates, faultless lead run, great chase run. But let's take a look at it one more time in the replay. You can see Bo Yates, he has more angle on his entry there. And Rosenblatt almost goes off track there. Then he has to cut in. He doesn't take the same line to try and catch back up, although he's nice and close on that last part of the track coming through the Achilles radial hairpin. You can see here now Rosenblatt. Wheel off again, and those mistakes combined with Bo's textbook lead run will hand Yates the win.
So that was a pretty phenomenal battle against Rosenblatt. I had him here last year in the top 8, so it went 3 reruns, but the judges were able to award me the win on that. I probably wasn't as close as what I hoped, but man, the car's working really well this weekend. You know, the Nittos are extremely well hooked up, and I'm just stoked to go through on the top 8 and get one up on Rosenblatt, because to me, really, I look at him like he's probably the best chase driver in Australia at this point in time. So it's good to get a win up on him again.
Our 2 youngest competitors going head-to-head now. Nick Coulson up against Jack Widdis. Queensland versus South Australia. Nick Coulson in that X-Force Performance Exhaust Achilles Radial Ute. Harrop Supercharged V8 under the hood. And the GH Haulage Machine RB25 powered. Nick Coulson throws it in, gives the wall a little kiss. Jack Widdis is right there though, putting on a pretty solid chase so far. Goes a little bit shallow on his line there coming out of the horseshoe. Very aggressive into the Achilles radial hairpin. Has a bit of a straighten up though. Nearly loses drift. 2 wheels over the white line. That is a 0 for Jack Widdis. Nick Coulson can take it easy on this run. He does hang back a little bit there. Widdis is giving it everything though. He has nothing to lose on his lead run after putting 2 wheels over the white line and straightening out on his last run. Coulson starting to close a little bit messy again there from Jack Widdis. But Nick Coulson, he will get the win in the Achilles Radial X-Force VE Ute. Jump on board with Jack Widdis now. And you can see here on his first run, nearly loses drift here, straightens out, and then gets 2 wheels completely over that white line, scores a 0. And then when they flip it around, Jack Widdis gave it everything he had. Was a little bit messy in a couple of parts of the track, but Coulson, right there, gets the win.
Yeah, had a good run against Jack. Battled him a few times, had a few reruns with him over the last couple of years. He did really well. I just had to stick it to his door and try and get the win. So fingers crossed, and yeah, through to the top 4.
2 locals going head-to-head now. Michael Prosnick, Supreme Caravans S13. That car received a big makeover for this season, and it's doing pretty well so far. Harrop Supercharged V8 under the hood. He's up against Jason Ferron in the Inc SP Aussie Apparel R31, also V8 powered. Prosnick, pedal to the metal, massive entry, threw it in real early, gets right on the edge of that white line. You're allowed to go on the white line, just not over it. Jason, though, putting down a pretty solid chase run against Pros. but the judge is saying Prosnik has the advantage just due to being a little bit more aggressive in his driving. Let's switch it around now. Jason Ferrin will lead. Michael Prosnik take chase here in the top 8. Jason throws it in, a little bit shallow on the angle, washes off a little bit too much speed there though. So his line's shallow coming for the NULON Oils horseshoe and a bit slow, misses that outer clip. But now Prosnik closes in for the kill, coming in through that Achilles radial hairpin. Prosnik, he had the advantage after the first run and he put down a pretty solid chase. Let's take another look at it. You can see here on board with Michael Prosnik that Jason washed off a bit too much speed, came in pretty shallow into the horseshoe. It was very messy as well, but Prosnik was able to put down a solid chase in the first half and closed in for the kill on the second half of the run, and that hands him the win in the Supreme Caravans S13.
Me and Fez, we just went out, had some fun. This Harrop blower just keeps pushing his car along, which is good. We're going to keep trying to stick it.
Well, on paper, this certainly is a David and Goliath battle. Little Corolla up against the big Commodore, 4-cylinder turbo up against a supercharged V8, and technically an 80GP rookie up against veteran V8 supercar driver Shane Van Gisbergen. But Klingberg is a drifting master behind the wheel of this Corolla. He throws it in. There's a little bit more angle than the gears. You can see Klingberg throwing down a textbook lead run. So much smoke from both of these cars, but the gears very aggressive on the chase there. And you can see him push right up into that last outer clip past the I Love Drift finish line. Judges saying no major advantage either way. And I want to see what happens on this run to determine the winner. The gears puts the hammer down, throws it in big, locks the angle, but can't wash off the speed. 2 wheels over the white line. That is a hero for the gears. He throws it away, and now Klingberg will sail through for the win up against Shane Van Gisbergen, the Drift Syndicate Wilkins Suspension VE Commodore. On board with the Giz now, chasing down Klingberg, throws it in. A great chase run from Shane Van Gisbergen. It's his first time driving this track. It's his first 80GP, and he's only had limited time behind the wheel of this VE Commodore, but already leaving an impression not just on the crowd, but the field of drivers as well. You can see here on his lead run, he just threw it in that little bit too big, runs wide off track, and hands the win over to Klingberg.
Just won my battle against Shane Van Gisbergen. I'm absolutely stoked. The Achilles tyres are crazy fast today, and it's awesome. And so we're through the top 4.
There's more epic battles to come after the break as we head into the top 4. Welcome back to round 2 of the Just Car Insurance Australian Drifting GP at the Calder Park Thunderdome. Drifting is quite harsh on a car, with drivers pushing them to the limit to win. The engines spend most of the time high in the rev range and on and off the throttle, which puts a lot of stress on the oiling system of an engine. A lot of oil stays up in the head of the engine. Meanwhile, the sharp changes of direction sloshes oil around in the sump, meaning engines can be starved of oil easily. To combat this, many teams fit aftermarket sumps to their engines, which are generally larger and baffled. An accumulator which stores oil under pressure is also a good safeguard. While the ultimate is a complete dry sump system, which stores oil separately in a large tank and uses a mechanically driven pump, ensuring there is never a shortage of oil.
So I think with drifting you get a lot of lateral loads, so a lot of wash in the pan, so it just made sense to obviously dry sump it. Got 10 litres of oil or something in the boot, so it's just a good mechanical way to keep oil pressure up to the engine.
Yeah, on our car we didn't have the budget to run a dry sump, which is what you initially would want. We went with a gated Morosso sump. We've got a Morosso accumulator on there, which is literally just a big piston and a spring. So it feeds it up when it's under pressure. So if we have like a little bit of an issue where we drop oil pressure or get a bit of surge, it'll fire all in there, keep the engine healthy at least, and not blow it up. You know, we run the NULON oil in our car and the thing runs amazing. You know, we did have an oil pressure problem when we had a tensioner spring, which is a good example. That broke off, went into the sump, was half blocking the pickup. So obviously the accumulator pulled us through, I think it was World Time Attack at Sydney. We had oil pressure problems. but it was enough to get us through the weekend, and we pulled the engine apart and there's not one bit of damage. So you pay for what you get, you know what I mean? So you got to use a good oil. Yeah, and a good oil will protect your engine if you do have like a failure and oil pressure for that, you know, enough for you to switch it off and realise. Could be the difference between a $10,000, $15,000 motor blowing up and just coming in and addressing the situation and going back out. So definitely very important to use a good quality oil.
Well, here is the NULON Oil's top 4 battle tree. How's this? New South Wales, Queensland, Victoria and South Australia, one from each state competing, has made it through to the top 4. First up, Bo Yates up against Nick Coulson. Number 1 qualifier up against number 1 in the championship. Bo Yates will lead on the first run. Pedal to the metal. Another massive entry from Bo Yates. Throws it in big. Nick Coulson, though, putting on a pretty solid chase so far. He wasn't quite as close to the wall, but look at him. He is locked on. He's right there. He cuts in a little bit there. It's a tiny bit messy, but he is door to door coming out of that Achilles radial hairpin. Judges saying maybe slight advantage to Nick Coulson for that chase, but Bo Yates did put down a stellar lead run. Let's see what happens when they flip it around. Coulson throws it in big, lots of speed. Runs too wide though, 2 wheels off. There's contact between the cars, and Nick Coulson throws it away and hands the win straight over to Bo Yates. He wants to continue that run and sails through the Achilles radial hairpin and across the I Love Drift finish line. Let's jump on board with Nick Coulson as he follows Bo Yates as they give us one of the best lead and chase runs of the weekend. Coulson had a slight advantage after a great chase, but then threw it in way too big, goes off track. Bo Yates follows him in deep, makes contact. He then puts the hammer back down, flies past Coulson to finish off that run. You see it again now as we go on board with Nick Coulson. Look how close Bo Yates stays on the run-up, ensuring that he's right there on the entry. The only problem with that is he followed him all the way into the dirt, there's some contact, tears the bar off the 8.6, but he gets the win.
So that was a pretty strange battle against Nick Coulson actually in the Achilles radials Commodore Ute there. We actually made contact, so I'm through for the win. He had an off, he got 2 wheels off and went in the dirt, but we made contact and I've noticed the car's not exactly steering straight, so we'll try and turn around for the final, and a great result for everyone involved in this car wins. Obviously, Nitto tyres are working flawlessly this weekend, and I'll just give it to the team now and see if they can turn around for the finals, but extremely stoked to be in the finals.
Up next, Jared Klingberg in the Barossa Spot On Fishing K70 up against Michael Prosnick in the Supreme Caravans S13. This is their first battle. The judges couldn't call it. There's a couple of little mistakes from both drivers in the chase and lead. You can see when they flip it around now, judges saying they wanted to see it again after some of those mistakes. They wanted a definitive winner. So here we go again now on the rerun. Jared Klingberg will lead as the higher qualifier, the Barossa Spot On Fishing KE70. Prosnick gives chase. Big entry there from Klingberg, gets right on the white line, but Prosnick's right there for a great chase run. He is pushing hard right up onto the door of Klingberg, coming through the Achilles radial hairpin. Great chase from Prosnick. And Klingberg finished his drift a little early there. Prosnick almost making contact, just manages to back out of it. They flip it around now, and Prosnick will lead in the Supreme Caravans S13. Pedal to the metal once again. Another great entry. Klingberg has more angle though than Prosnick. A wild chase run, but watch this, Klingberg, he overcooks it and spins and hands the win straight to Michael Prosnick in the Supreme Caravans S13. He is through to the finals.
Wow, that was a crazy battle with Klingberg, that rerun. I'm not too sure what happened, but we made it through the top 2. We'll be battling Bo Yates again like we did this time last year. It's my brother's birthday today, so I want to try and get him a trophy, but let's see what we can do. Just quick shout out to my sponsors. Thank you. Thanks the crew. Thank everyone.
Well, don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, as after the break we head into the finals to see who takes out round 2 and how the championship leaderboard ends up. Welcome back to round 2 of the Just Car Insurance Australian Drifting Grand Prix here at the Thunderdome, Calder Park Raceway in Victoria. It's time to head into the finals now and see who can take the spots on the podium and work their way up the leaderboard in our championship. Well, it is finals time now, the battle for third between Coulson and Klingberg, while the top spot is between Bo Yates and Michael Prosnick, a repeat of last time we're here. First up, Klingberg and Coulson. Battle for third place. This is highlights from their first battle. The judges could not split them. They were both good in one section of the track and both made mistakes in other sections of the track. But you can see that Klingberg giving it everything he's got in that little wagon, but Coulson was locked on. Both threw it in big on the second run. Klingberg wasn't as close in the first section of the track, but locked in and got closer on the second part. But the mistakes in other parts of the track meant the judges wanted to see it again to get a definitive winner in this battle. So here it is, the rerun between Klingberg and Coulson. Battle for third place here at round 2 at the Dome. Klingberg throws it in nice and early, runs it along the wall. Coulson is right there with him. This is a great chase from Coulson and a great lead from Klingberg as well. Coulson very aggressive, throws it in, but it's too much and he spins. He throws it away. It was a great chase run up until that point, but that spin will give a 10-0 advantage to Klingberg.
All right, here we go.
He can take it easy on this run on the chase if he wants to, but that ain't the way for Klingberg. He wants to put on a show. He throws it in right there as well with Coulson. The drift kid's got nothing to lose. He's going to give it everything he's got and hope that Klingberg spins. But so far, Klingberg is on a great chase run. And he's going to put the nail in the coffin to take the win here in the battle for third place. Achilles Radial replay now. Let's jump on board with Nick Coulson as he gives chase to Jared Klingberg. That spin gave the 10-0 advantage to Klingberg. And you can see that spin here from the other angle, looking back from the roof of Klingberg's K70 wagon. Coulson was aggressive, but just gave it that little bit too much, and around he goes. When they switched it around, Klingberg could have took it easy, but he gave a great chase and put the nail in the coffin to get the win. Well, it's finals time now. It's a repeat of the last time we're at the Dome. Yates and Prosnick head-to-head in the finals. Will Bo Yates take the win again? That is the question. He's the higher qualifier, so he leads. Gets through the chicane, pedal to the metal, bangs through the gears, that sequential gearbox, full speed, throws it in big. He's got more angle than Prosnick. He gets close to the wall. He's right on that white line. Gets right after that outer clip. Switches across now, but Prosnick, he cuts in on Bo Yates coming into the Achilles Radial hairpin. Bo Yates right on the wall, gives a little kiss as he hits that last outer clipping point and past the I Love Drift finish line. They switch it around now. Prosnick leads, full throttle, throws it in, couple little corrections there as he winds in the angle. Bo Yates is right there though, good line from both drivers, keeping it nice and wide with the horseshoe. Now they switch to come into the Achilles Radial hairpin. Bo Yates, nice and aggressive, trying to get closer. Wow, what a run. Let's go to the Achilles Radial replay to take another look. That is a wild entry from Bo Yates. Prosnick, not as close to the wall and not as much angle as Bo Yates on that massive entry. And you can see there Prosnick dives in into that Achilles Radial hairpin. Jump on board now with Prosnick, and you can see not as much angle, but then he gets closer coming through the horseshoe. And you can see here as they switch, Prosnick cuts across, nearly straightens up and dives in on Bo Yates, washes off a lot of speed in the process. And the judges said that's what they don't want to see. And that was one of the biggest mistakes from Prosnick. He also made a couple little corrections on the entry coming into the horseshoe. But let's go to the trophy presentation to see who gets the win.
Yeah, unreal feeling, Andrew. I mean, I got first place qualifier this time around. Last year, I think it was second and first, so it's good to go first place qualifier and obviously get the win. I think I learned a lot with the car over the last 12 months, and the car's pretty well dialed, so I think I've learned a lot since last time I was here, and hopefully that showed a little bit in my driving. Not as dainty and obviously really close to the wall, and the car just feels like it's got a really good balance.
Can't describe it. It's unbelievable. It's fantastic. Like I said, FD nearly killed us, but we're back. 2 years, 2 seconds, 2 firsts for Bo. I'll beat him one day. We'll get there.
After having a bit of bad luck in Perth, having some good luck this time, yeah, it's an awesome feeling. The crew put in such a good effort, and my sponsors are all backing me always, so it's awesome.
Well, that's it for round 2 of the Just Car Insurance Australian Drifting Grand Prix at the Calder Park Thunderdome. Let's check out the top 10 now for this round. Gisbergen takes 5th. Pretty good effort for his first ADGP. Rosenblatt, Wittes, Jason Ferron, Levi Clark, and then Josh Botcher rounds out the top 10. Nick Coulson keeps the number 1 spot, but Bo Yates and Jared Klingberg have made some big moves up the leaderboards, as has Jack Wittes. But as you can see, the points are still very close, and it's anyone's championship. Round 3 heads to Malala Motorsport Park in South Australia on Saturday, the 31st of January. You can get in from 9 a.m. with a Drift Fan ticket, but the gates open to the general public at 5 with the main entertainment on track from 5:30. More information and tickets from AustralianDriftingGP.com.